Hello everybody, welcome to Bad Big Games, where we talk about all things game news, reviews, and unboxings. I'm your host, Joseph. Today we're going to talk about my impressions of Iron Man VR for the PSVR, the demo that just released today. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, Future Joe, start the show. So you might be saying, Joe, why do you look so sweaty? Were you watching Cops? Nay, friends. I just got done playing the 20-minute demo of Iron Man VR for the PSVR. And like all impressions, I always talk about my thoughts walking in, my thoughts walking out, all the good stuff in between. So let's get right into the gameplay, shall we? So my thoughts are just like so many other gamers. When you look at VR, you don't kind of get it. You see cartoonish graphics, you see maybe something that resembles more PS2 or PS3 era rather than what is modern day gaming, especially with the next gen coming. But really, when it comes to VR, you have to experience it to actually get it. And so I was skeptical walking in because I saw with the first state of play that Iron Man trailer, it looked okay, but it didn't knock my socks off. And having this demo here, it has a lot to prove. It has a lot to prove saying, hey, listen, this isn't just a Iron Man simulator. This is a full-fledged fun experience that even if you don't have an attachment to the superhero, you're going to have a lot of fun with. Now, good thing for me walking into this, it immediately makes you feel like Iron Man. So let's first and foremost talk about flight before we even talk about combat. They throw you directly into the Iron Man experience by giving you your first flight. And it's simple as just flying straight ahead. And it is so amazing. It's exactly what you think. Flying as Iron Man is exactly what you think flying as Iron Man would look like or feel like when you're looking at the MCU movies. That's exactly how you're navigating. You, to fly, have your move sticks at your back, kind of like a Naruto run, and you're flying around like that, holding the triggers down as you're flying. That is incredible. You're kind of guiding it with your body to turn various ways, or you can use the triangle buttons on both move sticks to move at a 45-degree angle. Now, again, it's not the most perfect flying. It's not even something where you'll be able to turn on a dime and be really precise with it. It's trying to do its best at making you feel like you're Iron Man, and for the most part, it does a goddamn great job, especially when you're hovering around. The only problem I have with flight so far is I'm having a problem going down. That's the only thing. I can go high up in the air, but there's not a quick way to descend. And that's my only problem so far with the flight. But I'm guessing more experience, I'm going to get a lot better with it. Repulsors feel freaking great. Shout out to the sound in this game already. 3D audio, I can't wait to see what that's going to be, the evolution of it with PS5, because the repulsors sound exactly how you think repulsors should sound, and they have and pack a punch like they would. This is where the combat gets to be what you kind of feel like it's going to be. Kind of like a Dave & Buster's type of arcade experience. But please, developers, if you're watching this, anybody, don't take that as something that's shitty. It actually feels really great. Firing with the repulsors, having this combat that does feel like I'm in an arcade, is a ton of fun. And the level design kind of speaks to how you're fighting in this game as well, because not only do you have your repulsors, but you can get up close and personal with enemies by just holding down the circle button and then punching people. You have a rocket punch, for Christ's sakes. And that is really awesome. Not only that, but the level design is very spacious. I wouldn't necessarily call it open world, but I would really call it open level design, where it's all about flying, getting away, evading enemies, or getting to objectives within that map. So think of it more like hub worlds rather than a big giant open world where you get to explore. This is really more to get you to maneuver rather than to explore the environments, because let's be honest, it is PSVR, so the environments, you don't want to stare too deeply at them because they're all kind of ugly. So they really want you to move as Iron Man, and I get that feeling a lot. When the combat mixed with flight kicks in, it's almost like second nature, and it just feels so great to kind of have combos where you're shooting with your repulsor and then you're getting in close with the rocket punch to disable an enemy. It feels fan-freaking-tastic. Now, the enemies are just drones, and they're kind of just Sentinels from Halo, and that's fine. That's totally fine. I wasn't expecting anything more, anything less. And the level that they give you, the first level, the airplane level, they mix up the combat because you can't just be flying and shooting. You get bored after a while, right? So what they eventually do is that the airplane's falling apart, the airplane's crashing, and you have to do various things to get the plane not to do those things. So whether it's repairing a engine, whether it's repairing a wing, whether it's saving the girl at the very end while the whole plane's crashing down on you, they give you various things to do so that it breaks up the monotony between the combat so you're not getting bored. Also, lastly here, just a brief on the voice acting, which is really freaking good. Of course, they couldn't get RDJ, but the voice actor that is Tony Stark nails it. Like, he nails his charisma, he nails his quirkiness, his wittiness. He very much feels like not a, diet RDJ. He's very much making the role somewhat his own. So to me, as him filling iconic shoes, he's doing a fantastic job doing it. And with those story sections, it looks like there's also some choice in dialogue of how you want certain conversations to go. So you get to kind of choose if you want to be a serious Tony or a witty Tony. And I really like that. But other than that, this demo, from what we've seen so far, it's spec-freaking-tacular. It makes me feel like I'm Iron Man. Simply put, I'm sweating right now, and I can't wait to go back into that world to try out the demo again. It's just fantastic. It does exactly what Batman VR did for the Arkham game that was a launch title for the PSVR, and a little bit more. This is what, if I were to show someone what the power of VR is, I would definitely show them this game. Once they experience falling out of an airplane and having the Iron Man moment as the gloves are just attaching, the gauntlets are attaching to your arms, and having the mask on your face, you're Iron Man. And it feels so damn good. It gives you that immersion. So with that said, this is my brief impressions of Iron Man VR. Fantastic. Go out there. If you have a PSVR, what are you doing right now? Of course, I should have mentioned this earlier. You are going to need the Move controllers. This is not something you could play with a normal controller, so bear that in mind. But honestly, it's worth going out there and buying these overpriced controllers. It's amazing what developers are doing with PSVR, given its very limited technology, and it is fantastic. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody, I want to know your questions, your comments in the comment section down below. Whew, God, what an experience. I'll try to get to them as many as I can. And so with all that said, if you like videos like these, impressions like these, gaming news, reviews, unboxings, even a trophy room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players each and every Thursday here on Bad Bit Games, then please hit like, share, subscribe. Helps build this big, beautiful family that I call home. And with all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody, keep your wits about you and have a nice one.